You can tell me when we can continue. Can we continue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Let's go to share the screen for the last time. So let's start with assimilation. Assimilation is the process by which sounds are influenced by their neighboring sounds and come to share some or all of their phonetic characteristics. That's the concept of assimilation. Sorry if my voice is like that, but I'm kind of tired of speaking. Yeah, I have been speaking nonstop for so long, and what this means, what this definition means, that either within words or at word boundary, some sounds influence their neighboring sounds. Yeah, and this as well has to do mainly with place of articulation. So once again, it's very important for you to know the place of articulation of sounds. Sorry. It's not coronavirus, if you may think that. Um, Whenever we have, for example, this first rule says, whenever we have the voiced alveolar nasal, this sound may be assimilated into the voiced bilabial nasal. Okay? Nasal sounds are assimilated into another nasal. Yes? Why? Because they share in some point place of articulation. Okay? Either manner or place of articulation is shared by both sounds. That's mainly the reason. Under the influence of the voiced bilabial plosive. Yeah? Why? This is bilabial. This is bilabial as well, but it's nasal. So this alveolar nasal becomes a bilabial nasal because it's next to another bilabial sound. Yeah, so for example, this set of words, these two words, is pronounced, instead of saying down beat, it becomes down beat with a bilabial nasal instead of an alveolar nasal. The same for this main business. Okay? We can see that in the examples. Alveolar nasal, this arrow means is assimilated into, that means the arrow, into the bilabial nasal under the influence of the bilabial plosive. Okay, in this case, it's it's because of the place of articulation. Okay, again, the purpose of assimilating as well as with elision is to foster easier communication and foster again fosters fluency. I couldn't come up with a word. And the same, as I told you, down business becomes down business. And what if I make it bigger? And main business. I forgot the final sound here. Sorry, I deleted with the correction pen and forgot to write it again. And it becomes main business. Okay. Second rule. Voiceless and voiced alveolar nasal and velar nasal. So these three velar nasal, sorry, alveolar nasal, these three sounds may be assimilated into the voiceless, voiced, voiceless, bilabial, plosive, voiced, bilabial, plosive, and voiced, bilabial, nasal, respectively, under the influence of the three same sounds. Can you tell me what this word means, respectively? Do you know the meaning of this word? Can somebody tell me the meaning of respectively? Nobody? Nobody knows the meaning of that word?
Can I say it?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically in a way that relates or belongs to each of the separate things you just mentioned.
Okay. Yeah. It means that the first sound is assimilated into the first sound, the second with the second, the third with the third. Yeah. Not any of the three assimilated into any of the three and you mix them all? No, that's not the idea. Respectively means that one is assimilated into its corresponding consequent sound into the same list. Yeah? So if we go to the examples, we have the voiceless alveolar plosive is assimilated. That's why I made this with some colors. Quedó horrible igual, pero no importa. Voiceless alveolar plosive assimilated into voiceless bilabial plosive, voiced alveolar into voiced bilabial, alveolar nasal into alveolar, bilabial nasal. Okay. Another thing to consider, voiceless is assimilated into a voiceless. We cannot assimilate a voiceless into a voiced because you are changing a feature of the sound, and that's not how it works. Okay? Voiceless into voiceless, voiced into voiced, under the influence of any of the three same sounds. Yeah, you can mix these three whenever any of these three is in contact with any of these three sounds, it would assimilate respectively into these three sounds. Okay, that's why, for example, we have these two words, that and plan. Instead of pronouncing that plan, how would you pronounce it? Can somebody pronounce these two words assimilated?
Can I?
Yeah, please.
That plan?
Good. That plan, that plan, that plan, that plan. Yeah, the same. Use better. Use better in this case. Use better. Can somebody excepting Vladimir, can pronounce these two words assimilated? Yeah, please.
Yeah, better. Yeah, better.
Okay. Somebody else, a girl, please.
You better.
Mm-hmm. Again. Can you say that again?
You better.
You better. You
You
better. Okay.
You better.
Okay.
Third example. On purpose. On purpose. On purpose. On purpose. Can you repeat that?
On purpose.
On purpose.
On purpose. Very good. Very good.
On purpose.
Do you understand what we're doing? Do you understand what assimilation is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody understands, or somebody got lost or
Yes.
got behind. I
I
have no
understand.
problem, and I go back to it. I go back to the beginning. Everybody understands?
Yes.
Good, good.
No.
Who said no? Somebody said no? Hable ahora, cosa para siempre, ¿eh? Continúo. Listo. Again, voiceless and voiced alveolar, alveolar plosive, sorry, are assimilated again, respectively. Maybe, oh, this one is out of place. Good. Is assimilated respectively into both voiceless and voiced palatal. Gosh, what did I write? Palatal alveolar fricative, affricate, sorry, under the influence of the palatal semival. Voiced palatal alveolar affricate. Where's my bar? I lost it. Where's the bar? Okay. You know, bit of, okay. I quit. So we have voiceless is assimilated into the palatal alveolar affricate, voiced alveolar assimilated into the voiced sound of the same kind under the influence of the palatal semival. So, for example, instead of saying last year, you say last year. I told you about it last year. I went there last year. Can you pronounce that set of words?
Last year.
That's cheer.
Last year, okay?
Last year.
It must be palatal alveolar, so you must pronounce the voiceless plosive last year, okay? It is also very common to say last year. Very people do that. Instead of saying last year, you may heard as well last year, like shh, only with the voiceless fricative sound. The same for these two words. Instead of saying behind, ahí me quedo todo pegadito, behind you, you say behind you, behind you. Can you say it?
Behind you.
Behind you.
Behind you. Okay,
Behind.
very good. Awesome, awesome. Pattern number 4. It's here. Whenever we have the voiceless and voiced alveolar fricative sounds, these two, s and z, they may be assimilated into the voiceless and voiced palato-alveolar fricative, the one that I told you about a second ago, under the influence of the voiceless palato-alveolar fricative or palatal semivowel. Let's go to that option, and it's not here, it's here. So voiceless and voiced fricative sound assimilated into voiceless and voiced, which is the manner of articulation of these two sounds. Are these fricative or affricate?
Fricatives.
Fricatives, very good, thank you so much. Under the influence of the same sound, same fricative sound, and the palatal semivowel as well. So you have her voice shook. Her voice shook. I pronounce it alveolar. I didn't pronounce it fricative. Yeah. Assimilated would sound her voice shook. Her voice shook. Her voice shook. In case you do. In case you do. In case you do. Case you do. Or you have two ways of assimilating the same set of words. In case you do. In case you do. In case you do. In case you do. What do you think about these two sounds? Which is the one that sounds louder or clearer than the other?
The second.
The second. What happens to the first? In case you do.
It's difficult to pronounce, maybe.
Why?
Because one is approximant and the other is fricative.
Which one is approximate?
Approximant palato voiced.
What? I didn't. And this one?
In the first.
In this one or in? No, this is a semivowel. I'm talking about this last way of pronouncing, the second way of pronouncing it. The thing is that is, at least I feel it like that. You tell me if you feel the same. It's like this voiceless fricative doesn't sound properly, but this one is the one that sounds. In case you do, in case you do, in case you do, in case you do, in case you do. It sounds awkward as well. It's easier to say in case you do, in case you do, in case you do, in case you do. That's kind of more easier to recognize in the way native people speak. But this one, the second pronunciation, is more difficult because these two sounds are the same. If we have two same sounds together, what would you do?
We pronounce only one.
Why?
Because are the same.
So?
In case you
We
do.
assimilate because The second word begins with the last sound of the first one.
Exactly, exactly. There's
I
no
don't know.
point of in pronouncing the same sound twice. Yeah? So it's easier to omit the last sound in the previous word and only pronounce the first one on the second.
Is something like a just sound, or you pronounce a longer.
Yeah, it's like it would be something that's how I interpret it. Yeah, I interpret, sorry, based on how people speak. So you omit this last voiceless fricative sound and join the following word, yeah, this verb joined to the previous word. And so you make like a whole word. In case you do, in case you do, yeah, the vowel, the fricative sound, and the following vowel all together. That's how I feel it. That's how I feel when I learned this pattern of assimilation for this example precisely. You understand?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Good. So next, okay, the same happens with these three sounds, the same that happens with the button number 3, voiceless, voiced, and nasal alveolars. Maybe that's something that I wanted to tell you that I almost forgot to say. Everything in the rule says may be assimilated. It never says is assimilated. Why? Because it's phonetics and phonology books are based, as I told you before, are based on how people actually speak. So based on how people speak, rules are made. Yeah, that's why it says may be assimilated, and that's something that happens with all of the allophones. All of the allophones, people may choose to pronounce it or not. Okay, remember what I explained to you on the previous material when I introduced allophones, that we have allophones in complementary distribution and free variation. Yeah, that were those allophones that cannot be replaced one with another, that were complementary distribution, and free variation, that were those allophones that were up to the speaker's style of speaking, sorry, or people, yeah, speaker's choice, whether to pronounce it or not, whether to, in this case, assimilate it or not. Some of the patterns of assimilation belong to complementary distribution and some belong to free variation. Okay, are you following me? Are you there? Did you die?
Yep.
Are you asleep or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, that came from a grave. For example, these kind of patterns, if you pronounce it hot cakes, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it's possible for you to do that, but you will sound kind of non-native or awkward, or like, I don't know. very rigid if you don't assimilate. And some others, yeah, like this one, like the first one, or the second one, or the third one, if you don't assimilate those sounds, people would understand you anyway. If you say last year, if you say like that, people will understand you anyway. If you don't assimilate anything. The same for behind you, behind you, behind you. Like there are many options for pronouncing the same thing, and that is up to the speaker's choice. That's why this pattern, for example, belongs to, at least for me, that's my interpretation, to free variation of allophones. I go back to this. So the same as with pattern number 3 and 2. This is, which one was it? Number 3? Yeah, no, 5. Respectively. So let's go straight to the examples. Voiceless into voiceless. Voiced, voiced. Okay? Can somebody think, or is your brain going to explode? Can somebody explain to me why these 3 sounds and these 3 sounds? Why these 3 and not others? Under the influence, of course, of these both velar sounds. Can anybody think of an explanation for that?
Could it be because most of these sounds are like plosives, like I don't know, the alveolar plosive is they're pretty near there. I don't know how to explain it, but they're really similar. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say.
Similar according to which of the 3 features of consonant sounds?
Place of articulation.
In that case, this one, these 3 sounds, where are articulated? These
No, I mean
3?
manner of articulation.
Okay, that's
articulation,
something
sorry.
different. These 3 are alveolar in the manner of articulation. Sorry, in the place of articulation. These 3 are velar. So an alveolar is assimilated into a velar because it is next to another velar. Voiced into a voiced velar under the influence of any of the 2. And the same for the nasal. It becomes a velar nasal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
What about the rest? Do you understand that part, or should I go back?
Can you repeat one more time?
Okay.
The last part, please.
Very good. These 3 sounds are alveolar, okay? Voiceless, voiced, and velar, and alveolar nasal. Yeah? Place of Place of articulation of the 3 alveolars. Manner of articulation of the first 2 plosive. Manner of articulation of the third one nasal. Okay? The voiceless alveolar plosive is assimilated into a voiceless velar plosive. Why? Because it's next to a velar plosive. any of the two are velar plosive. They are articulated at the very back of the mouth. Okay? Do you know where velar sounds are articulated? I hope you do. I hope that silence means yes, we know. So,
At
for
the
example, hmm?
at the film on the back side of the
Exactly.
Yeah,
mouth.
with the
Mhm.
back part of the tongue. So,
Okay, okay, very good.
like against the palate, the soft palate.
Ok, excelente. Chicos, ¿se dan cuenta la importancia de saber el lugar y la forma de articulación? O sea, se entienden que para entender esto tienen que saber por qué estos tres y no cualquiera, porque los tres se articulan en el mismo lugar. Distintas maneras de articulación. Los dos primeros son plosive. ¿Por qué? Porque hacen una explosión antes de largar el aire. ¿Por qué? Porque hay una obstrucción que la provoca la parte de atrás de la lengua, que está en contacto con esa zona, con el velum. Lo mismo con este sonido nasal, porque el aire baja por los conductos nasales, ¿sí? Y cuando va a pasar por the velum, se vuelve velar, pero se articuló originalmente en la zona. Ay, ¿cómo se decía? La parte tipo, el articulatorio de la nariz. Bueno, ok, eso. No me sale. No me sale la palabra exacta que quería.
Cavidad.
Entonces, ¿eh? La
Cavidad
cavidad
nasal.
nasal. Muy bien, muchísimas gracias. O sea, son de gran ayuda en este momento. Entonces, por eso es respectivamente voiceless asimilado into another voiceless, voiced into a voiced, nasal into velar nasal. ¿Por qué? Porque están bajo la influencia de estos dos que son velar. Entonces, sonidos velar va a causar que los sonidos de al lado, ya sea para atrás, que eso también lo vamos a ver después al final, o la clase que viene, sonidos hacia atrás o hacia adelante se compartan características, ya sea lugar de articulación o forma de articulación. Entonces, por ejemplo, en vez de pronunciar hot cakes, we say hot cakes, hot cakes, hot cakes, hot cakes,
Hotcakes.
hot cakes, hot cakes. Can you repeat that?
Hotcakes. Hotcakes.
Can you feel how do you change the articulation of the voiceless alveolar into a voiceless velar?
So I've got a question out of curiosity.
Yeah.
So whenever we are doing a written transcription, are we going to be able to join the two words into one to do the allophone?
Why would you join two words into one? That's another device of construction
Because of
of.
the allophone?
No, it's not the same.
No? Okay.
No, it's not the same. That capacity of joining two words is called juncture, and that's something different that we are going to see later.
Okay.
Juncture, liaison, or concept that I think you were introduced to last year, but I don't actually know. I will get deeper on that later.
I'm asking because when we are pronouncing the words, it appears that we are joining them like hotcakes.
Exactly. Why? Because of what I said previously. We have two sounds together. Cuando veamos otros allophones que también, o sea, con respecto a los allophones, todos están conectados con todos y ustedes se van a dar cuenta, lo van a sentir cuando lo pronuncian inclusive. O sea, es como que dos allophones juntos, pronunciarlos y son exactamente iguales, la tendencia es sacar uno de los dos. Ya sea que lo haces a través de glottal replacement, que es otra cosa que vamos a ver después, o glottal reinforcement, que también es otra cosa que lo vamos a ver después. Dos sonidos iguales juntos, no hay objeto en pronunciarlos ambos. Entonces, por eso es que te parece que uno pronuncias y el otro no. Generalmente el que no suena es el último de la palabra anterior y sí el primero de la palabra siguiente. ¿Ok? Bueno, después ustedes analizan el resto de los ejemplos. Vamos a tratar de, a ver si puedo terminar los últimos 3 patrones. Con these two, we have the combination of these two sounds, yeah? Voiceless alveolar plosive and the semivowel may be assimilated into the voiceless palatal alveolar affricate. And this, yeah, where is it? Here. And this is something that it means be interpreted like something of historical assimilation. Why? Because if you go and look for the transcription of these words on the dictionary, you will find it already assimilated. You won't find it like that. Mature. You will already find the transcription mature. Yeah, mature. This is how you will find it on dictionaries.
Sure.
Accentuate, not accentuate. Accentuate. It sounds very awkward. So you already will find the citation form or transcription on the dictionary as accentuate. The same for situation. Yeah, I have syllabicity here again. Importunate, chene, no, importunate, no, it's not possible to pronounce. It's already importunate sounds fricative. Yeah, and the same is for the 7th pattern. Yeah, instead of saying education, you say education. Individual. Yeah? Is that clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Last but not least, the same kind of combination. And this is kind of difficult because you can hear it in both ways. Yeah. As so